All right. Good morning, everyone, and welcome in. My name is Alexis Miller. I'm one of the yoga instructors here for Yoga for Caregivers. So, this is our weekly stretch session where we really focus on getting into our bodies, stretching ourselves out, getting us ready for the rest of our day and the rest of our week. So, as we move through practice today, keep in mind your boundaries and notice, are you ready to extend into postures? Do you need to modify and come down to the mat, or perhaps find a center posture? Also, keep in mind, I don't often cue water. So, if and when you feel thirsty, of course, please feel free to step off your mat, grab that drink, and then join us whenever you feel ready. So, with all of that being said, let's go ahead and come into a comfortable seat, whether our legs are crossed or perhaps straight out in front of us. We are going to wiggle back and forth, rooting into our sits bones and then sitting up nice and tall. We're going to inhale as we bring our shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. One more time. Inhale as we draw the shoulders forward and up, and then exhale as we drop them back and down. Nice. Find a comfortable spot for your hands, whether on your knees, palms up or down, or in your lap. Gently close the eyes if you'd like, or just find an unmoving point. Soften the gaze here today. This year, inspiration for our classes is drawn from the Native American medicine wheel, based on Sun Bear's vision. The medicine wheel teaches us about movement and change and offers us insight that will help us learn and grow. The beaver phase of the year happens under the frog's return moon. Once again, nature reveals the name of this moon. As we shift into the last days of spring, the earth comes fully alive once again. This makes sense as change inevitably begins to emerge during this time. Last month allowed us to create a vision of the life we wanted to live. Now it's time to work toward it. As you move through practice, I invite you to feel into your own vitality. Let that energy carry you through practice. So, settling in, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhaling that breath back out. Take another deep inhale, fill your belly, lungs, and chest with air. And then slowly exhale that breath back out. Take another deep inhale here as you feel the belly expanding outward, filling full of air. And then exhaling that breath out as you draw your belly button in toward your spine. Inhale as you feel your torso expand and your collarbones gently lift. And then exhale as you feel your shoulders release down and away from your ears. Inhaling as you draw your air in the nose, down the throat, filling the lungs. And then exhaling as you squeeze that air out the lungs, move it up the throat, and then out your nose. Continuing to breathe here, inhaling and exhaling with intention. Really noticing the movement of your breath, noticing how the breath moves through the body. Now, if your mind gets distracted, if it starts to think, if it goes on an adventure of its own, if it gets distracted by noises or physical sensations, that is okay. The moment that you've noticed you've gone away, see if you can come back to focusing on the breath, returning to this present moment. If it's helpful, perhaps using a mantra to help you stay grounded and focused on the breath here. Inhale, I am. Exhale, vital. Inhale, I am. Exhale, vital. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments here today. Take another deep inhale here, setting an intention or a purpose for your practice today, which really can be anything at all, but it often answers the question, why did I get on my mat? Let's take another deep inhale here. Feel that intention with your heart and mind. And then exhale the breath out. Set your intention off to the side, knowing we'll return to it toward the end of our practice. Lovely. If you are on a prop like a block, let's go ahead and remove that now, coming down into a comfortable seat on your mat. We're going to inhale as we sweep our arms up wide, bring them up overhead, cast the gaze skyward, and then exhale, drop your left hand down to the mat, out to the side slightly, lean over to the left as you reach through those right fingers, coming into your seated side bend. So option here is to stay on your left hand. Otherwise, you can drop that elbow down to the floor, bringing it beneath the shoulder here. Really reaching through those top fingers. That's going to deepen the stretch to the side body, but it's an option, not a requirement. Feel the pulling open of those rib muscles. They're called intercostals here, into the armpit, tricep, bicep. Stacking your arm over the ear here, maybe turning the gaze toward the ceiling. Let's take a couple deep breaths together. And then inhale, let's go ahead, sweep that right arm up, switching hands here. So drop your right arm down to the side, out slightly from the body, lean over to the right, reaching through those left fingers, seated side bend. So again, pressing into that right hand here to keep yourself rooted onto the floor. Option is to drop down into that elbow, but again, it is an option. It's certainly not a requirement. Wherever you are, we're reaching through those top fingers here, feeling that opening through the chest as we stack the shoulder and the arm over the head and the ear. Noticing the pull through the top of the hip, in through those rib muscles here, then into the armpit, bicep, tricep space. Good. Looking up toward the ceiling here, let's take a couple deep breaths here together. Lovely. Inhale as we sweep that left arm up, coming back into center. We're going to go ahead and extend our legs straight out in front of us here, gently flexing those feet. And then we're going to bend our right knee, draw the foot in, and then step that right foot over the left leg here. So a couple options here. You're welcome to take that left arm, wrap it around the right leg, turn toward the right, squeeze that leg in, coming into a nice gentle twist here and a pull open through the right hip. Option. Another option is to take the outside of that left arm, bring it to the outside of the right knee, press into that knee here, and then drop that back arm down, that right arm down to the mat, turning your gaze toward the back of the room or the back of your mat, coming into this nice seated twist. Notice what feels right for you, and let's breathe. And then inhale, we're gently going to untwist here. Nice work. Extend that right leg out, switching sides. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see me from a different angle this time. So taking this left knee and bending it, foot comes in, stepping that left foot over the right leg here. So again, option is to take that right arm, wrap it around the leg, turn to the left. Nice little pull through the left hip, but twist through the spine. That's an option. Another option is to take the outside of that left arm, put it to the outside of the right arm, put it to the outside of the left leg. Sorry about that. Pressing arm into knee, knee into arm, dropping that left hand down, looking back behind you, coming into that twist opposite side. Options here. Notice what feels right for you. And let's take a couple deep breaths here together. And then inhale, let's gently untwist here. Nice work. All right, turning back to face you here. We're gonna come into fire log pose. So go ahead and bring that right leg down in front of you here. You want the foreleg parallel to your, or perpendicular to your body. So we're not tucking the heel in like crisscross applesauce, but instead we're creating some space here. Now we're gonna take that ankle bone on the left leg and drop it down on top of that fleshy part of the knee. So you see how I'm really creating like a square. I'm stacking myself here with the legs. Now you notice there's some space between my knee and between my ankle. Now, this may be the case for you. You can always grab a prop like a block here and place that under the knee for some extra support. You can also let it float, and as you sink into the pose, that space may decrease. Maybe it won't, but it's up to you. Now, I'm really feeling this stretch deep in my left hip already. Now, option is to stay right here, totally fine. Find a comfortable spot for your hands. Otherwise, exhale, hinge at the hips, gently lean forward here as far as you're able. You're going to feel that stretch pretty darn quickly here. And then breathe. Lengthening through the spine, dropping the shoulders down. And instead of craning the neck up, instead tuck the chin slightly so you're long through the spine, looking down toward a point in front of you. And let's take a couple deep breaths here together. When you're ready, we're going to inhale, release, gently uncrossing those legs, using hands for support as you need, dropping the soles of the feet onto the floor, leaning back onto the hands, and then windshield wipe your knees back and forth, releasing your glutes, your hips, and your low back here. So it's a nice little massage, especially for the glute muscles here as you roll your weight back and forth. It's very similar to foam rolling here, just much, much more gentle than foam rolling tends to be. All right. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and drop that left foreleg down in front of you. So again, perpendicular to your body, there's some space between the leg and your groin area. Okay. And then we're going to take that right ankle bone and this time put it on top of that left fleshy part of the knee. So you see on this side, I have even more space between my knee and my ankle. So if I wanted, I could put a block here. Same for you. If you don't have a block, you could use a pillow, you could use a jacket, a blanket, really anything that can kind of just add a little bit of support here. Okay. Now, you can also not use a block, that's fine too. Now we're really feeling that stretch on the right side in that right hip. So we're going to sit up nice and tall here. You can remain here, or if you want to deepen the stretch, you're going to lean forward here as far as you're able, staying long through the spine, finding that edge right between where it's like, ow, I've pushed too far and I'm not pushing far enough, right? And then just breathe there. And that may be different side to side. Maybe you can go deeper in one posture on one side than the other. It does not matter if you go the same depth. What matters is that you do the same posture on both sides. Nice work. And then we gently release here, those legs. Good. Bringing the soles of the feet back to the floor, hip width distance apart. Once again, we lean back into the hands and we windshield wipe the knees back and forth. Again, we release the glutes, the hips, and the low back as we do. Good. Now, coming back into stillness when you feel complete in that, we're going to roll onto our hands and knees here. So let's go ahead and bring our hands beneath our shoulders, our knees beneath our hips, and let's drop the tops of the feet to the floor to start here. So we're going to inhale, sink the belly, lift the head and the hips, coming into cow. And then exhale, lift the back, sink the head and the hips, coming into cat. Inhale into cow, sink the belly, look up toward the sky. Exhale into cat, press the mat away, feel the shoulder blades separate. One more round each side, inhaling down toward the floor, looking up toward the sky. Exhaling, pressing the mat away, feeling the shoulder blades separate. And then inhaling, we return to neutral. Nice work here. Now we're actually going to tuck our toes under, all right? And then feet are about hip width distance apart. We're going to press back and sink onto our heels here. Good. Coming into our Japanese T pose here. So a couple options. The goal is to stretch out the feet. So making sure that all of the little piggies are tucked under here so they're not uncomfortable and not causing any pain. Now, sinking back onto the heels, we're pressing weight in and we're really stretching out these feet, all those little ligaments and muscles there in a pretty big way. Now, if you are not used to stretching out your feet, you are immediately maybe feeling fire in the feet. I invite you to stay with sensation, but if you're like, Alexis, this is no way, there's no way I can do this. We have a couple options. You can take a prop like a block and place it on the highest side between the knees or between the feet and sit back here. If you do not have a prop or if that's still too low, you can simply stay up here and sink back as far as you're able, okay? So wherever you are, we're here for just a couple more breaths. Shoulders are shrugged down. I invite you to lean into the discomfort here. We don't care for our feet a lot, so this is an opportunity for you to show your feet a little love, even if it feels kind of painful in the moment, okay? So let's take two more deep breaths, shoulders down, find that unmoving point here. You can do this. One more deep breath here. And then exhale, we lean forward onto the hands, release the feet, tops of the feet. We tap them up on the mat here, just releasing our feet, reassuring yourself that your yoga instructor did not, in fact, break your feet, rolling those ankles in one direction and then the other, getting a little bit of movement here. Yeah, nice work. All right. Now, on the next inhale, we're actually going to come right down onto our bellies. Good. Making sure that the props are out of the way, that anything else is out of the way, pets, other humans, furniture, whatever it may be. Bring your arms out to a T and bring the right side of the head to the floor so you're looking at your left hand. We're coming into 8-point shoulder stretch here. So we're going to take that left hand, bring it beneath the shoulder, elbow sticks up in the air. And then bend your left knee so your foot sticks up in the air. When you're ready, leaving the right arm and leg where they are, roll onto your right side and bring that left foot to the outside of that right leg. Your head is still resting down on the mat. So this is 8-point shoulder stretch here. My knee is sticking up in the air. I'm getting a twist through the spine. If you want a deeper twist in the spine, knee falls open behind you. And if you want less of a twist, it comes down toward the mat. Play with it here. You know what your body needs. Your right arm is sticking straight out behind you, and you're getting a nice opening through that shoulder, in through the torso here. So notice what feels right for you. Let's take a couple deep breaths here together. And if your head is lifted, go ahead, rest it down on the mat. We don't need to strain our necks here today. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, release. Go ahead and roll onto your belly, arms out to a T, and then switch cheeks. So I'm going to stay on this side so you can see what it looks like from the back. So left side of the head is down onto the mat, looking toward your right hand. Bring your right hand beneath the shoulder, elbow sticks up in the air. Bend your right knee, foot sticks up in the air. Exhale, roll onto your left side, drop that foot down to the outside of that left leg, coming into 8-point shoulder stretch, opposite side. So you can see my right or my left arm is pointing straight out from behind me, getting a nice deep stretch to that shoulder in through the chest. I'm getting a twist through the spine. If I wanted a deeper twist, my knee would fall open behind me. And if I wanted less, it would close down toward the mat. Again, you know what your body needs. Feel into that and use that proprioception that you have. And let's take a couple deep breaths here together. And then we inhale, go ahead, roll onto the belly here. Hands come beneath the shoulders. We're going to inhale onto our hands and knees here. And then when you're ready, on the next inhale, tuck the toes. On the exhale, lift your hips, down dog. Now, this may be the first down dog of the day or week. So let's walk our dog. Bend one knee and then the other. Find a little bit of movement through the legs. Take a nice deep inhale here. Nice deep exhale. Excuse me. Nice deep inhale. Exhale. Pause here with a bended right knee, a straightened left leg. Reach that right hand beneath the body to the left ankle. Look beneath the left side. Woo, nice deep stretch to the outside of that left leg. Deep inhale. Exhale, release, come back into center. Bend the left knee, straighten the right leg. Sweep that left arm over to that right ankle. Look beneath the right leg or right arm here. Nice deep inhale. Nice deep exhale. Sweep that left arm back into center. Good. One more deep inhale here. And then exhale, go ahead, drop your knees down to the mat, untuck the toes. We're actually going to make our way onto our back. So if you need a towel off, grab a drink of water, put on a socks or a jacket for final relaxation. Now is your moment. We will not sit up for the rest of our practice, okay? So, excuse my runny nose today. Coming down onto your back, let's tuck the knees into the chest, wrap your arms around the legs for just a moment. Give yourself a bit of a squeeze, maybe a rocking back and forth here. And then when you're ready, drop those soles of the feet down to the floor here and making your way into your final relaxation pose. So maybe you stay right here, knees in the air, soles of the feet are on the floor. You can bring soles of the feet together and allow the knees to fall out wide, recline down angle. You can extend one leg and keep the opposite foot in for fallen tree, or you can extend both legs out. Arms can find whatever position feels good for you. You're also welcome to roll onto your side or your belly, or you can even come into a seated position here. Notice what feels right for you here, finding that position, settling into it, and then let's take a couple deep breaths here together. So we're letting go of control of the breath, and now we're just allowing it to settle into its own rhythm and cadence for this final part of our practice. The breath settles in, and you simply become a witnessing observer of it. Just begin to notice how fast or slow it's moving, how deep or shallow it's become. Really noticing here the movements of the breath without getting attached or caught up in them. As with anything, the mind, it may wander off and get distracted. It might start thinking about things happening off the mat. So if that happens, see if you can reel the mind back in. Just return to this present moment here, this space of rest. It's built into practice. It's allowing your body to absorb everything you just did. If it's helpful, of course, you can come back to your mantra to help you stay grounded and focused right here in this moment. Inhaling, I am. Exhaling, vital. Inhaling, I am. Exhaling, vital. Remaining here with your breath in whatever way best supports you for just a few more moments. I'm going to get quiet for this final part of practice so you can have it to yourself. Please know that I'm watching the time and I most certainly respect yours. So I will let you out of this posture before the end of our practice. So lean back here, let go of doing. Just feel into your vitality right here in this present moment. If you allow yourself to sit in a relaxed, peaceful way, it calms and settles your body and your mind. Sitting like this allows you to enjoy your in-breath and out-breath, to enjoy being alive, to enjoy just sitting there. Bringing your awareness back to this space, taking a deep inhale through your nose, filling your belly, lungs, and chest with air. Before slowly letting that breath go. Taking another deep inhale as you begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Move the arms and legs, gently waking your body up. When it feels right for you, rolling onto one side, pause there with an arm or a hand beneath your head. It's here that I invite you to bring back to mind your intention or your purpose that you set at the beginning of your practice that answered the question, why did I get on my mat? Take another deep inhale here. Make your way on up into a seated position as we close out our practice together today. So finding your comfortable seat, rooting into your sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. Inhale as we bring our shoulders forward and up. Exhale as we drop them back and down. Finding that comfortable position for your hands on your legs, in your lap, or at heart center. Closing the eyes if you'd like. We take a moment to express gratitude for yet another lovely day here on earth and for our bodies that allow us to do so many things, including yoga. Thank you all so much for allowing me to guide you through this practice today. It was a joy and an honor, and I hope to be able to do so again in the future. The light in me, it sees the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me here for your weekly stretch session with Yoga for Caregivers. Again, my name is Alexis Miller. I'm here every Wednesday at 9 a.m. Eastern, so mark your calendars, set your alarms. I would love to see you again. You can find Yoga for Caregivers on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram, where you can access information about us as well as access the other resources available via volunteers like me. So thank you so much for volunteering. Thank you so much for joining me here today, and I hope to be able to practice with you again in the future. Have a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you next time. Bye.